Hello everyone, Mary Janet here from Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and I'm sitting here on my front step. It's a heat wave here today, and I wanted to come on here and tell you a few things about what's going to be happening with Tunes and Wooden Spoons. And I had to write notes up for myself so that I wouldn't forget anything to keep you posted on, because it's a great thing. So first of all, I just want to say that we did it, Margie and I, and McIntyre Purcell Publishing Company have done it again. We have finished our third cookbook. It has been submitted to the printers and just this week, and it'll be coming out probably in September or late September, but that could change once the printers have it, and we'll know more. But I guess I wanted to go back and speak about one of the reasons why we stopped the live shows. Well, obviously, the time seemed to have come because of, COVID was kind of on the back burner, although it hasn't really gone away, has it? But our ability to be out with everyone, and that has happened. And so I thought, oh well, people are out and about now, and they won't need to be sitting on a Sunday afternoon waiting for me to bake something. And plus there was a significant time investment with making the recipes, and buying the food, and doing it twice, doing it Wednesday, taking a picture, and then doing it again. But the publishing company, they've just been fantastic. McIntyre Purcell, they've been just absolutely wonderful. And the new owner is from Antigonish, Jeff Cox, and he's been great to work with, and his team as well. And I guess he convinced us that we had another book in us, and to make it a trilogy. This is the last and final book, and I'm saying that to everybody, that this is the last book in a trilogy. And we named this Come In, the Kettle's On, because you know how when COVID began, we were all trapped in our homes, we were stuck in our houses, and with no idea what we were going to do. And so this particular book, I think it has a vision of, okay, we're out and we're about now, and we can open this up to the Maritimes and just, bring back visiting. And that's exactly what this ended up being. And that's why the title of the book is called Come In, the Kettle's On. And we, the cover of the book is actually at my front door, and I have a plate of cookies, and I'm welcoming you into my home. Just like the beautiful grandmothers that welcomed Margie and I into their homes. I mean, we sat down with the publishers, and we really felt that a maritime book would be the best, because and go out and meet these wonderful people and grandmothers and new recipes and different vision like that, and just have a visit with these people. So that's kind of where that all started. And so how do you pick who's going to be in the book? How besides my own recipes that will of course be in the book that family and friends have shared, but to give a nod to these wonderful grandmothers, because book 2, Love Without Measure, was so well received, and people really loved the stories about the 12 women that we chose along the west coast of Cape Breton. And so this one, we wanted to offer that to, there's more women out there who deserve this recognition, and that's exactly what we found. So how do we do that? So what we did was we designed the nomination process, which brought in more than 150 or so nominations from grandchildren, and not just grandchildren. Sometimes it was a daughter-in-law, sometimes it was an aunt, of this lovely lady who, you know, she's in her 90s and she needs to be recognized, and how wonderful would that be? So we ended up having to pick 39 grandmothers and 2 grandfathers, and that was a hard pick, because every grandchild, the stories that they shared was just so heartwarming and beautiful. And sometimes there were grandchildren from Western Canada, and they're nominating an East Coast grandma because they had to be part of the Maritimes. So all of those things were just really, really special, and it was really tough to leave some away and just pick those. And anyway, that nomination process for the month of October was amazing. So then we had to figure out, okay, how we're going to work this visiting to each one of those people to show us what they're making and take a picture of what they made, and maybe I can bake with them all over the Maritime provinces, you know, New Brunswick and PEI, and of course here in Nova Scotia, and right here in on our island of Cape Breton. And so I decided, you know, on the ones that spoke to me, and Margie as well. We went for a drive to Halifax, and we ended up picking them on the drive, and some brought us to tears, and so on and so forth. But it was just a very worthy, you know, process to go through that. And we came up with the most wonderful people once we met them. And almost every one of them met us at the door. Say, come in, you know, come in, and we're going to have a cup of tea, and we're going to have a bite. And it was just so enjoyable. And all of these lovely people had, you know, great little stories, a few little snippets from the grandchildren, and then from what we found out from the visit. But it was the visiting part that was so nice. We tried to set about 2 hours for every visit, and sometimes we'll be finished in an hour and a half, but sometimes we'll be there for 2 hours. And it was just so enjoyable to sit down. And I remember one special lady that really stood out to me was, if you're watching, Barbara Blizzard in Fredericton. Just there by herself, you know, had been recently widowed, and, you know, her 2 children were, you know, not living in Fredericton, so, and neither were the grandchildren, of course, but her granddaughter from Ontario had nominated her and said such lovely things. But just to sit down and talk with her, and it just brought to mind that there are people, and there are neighbors, and there are people who love to have a visit and just sit down for a chat. And what do we do that over? We do that over food, and our love of food, and sometimes that food is fattening. And it's okay now and again. So we have decided that the publishing, you know, the owner of the publishing company, Jeff, oh, he's such a sweetheart. He convinced me that, you know what, before this book comes out, I think you need to do 10 or so more live shows. So I agreed. We're going to do that. It's not necessarily going to be on a Sunday, but one of the early ones that we're going to be doing will be with none other than Natalie McMaster. And so Natalie and I are going to get together, and for some of you who may not know this, Natalie has chosen McIntyre Purcell as her publishing company as well. And her book is almost gone to the printers, if it hasn't already. And I Have a Love Story is the name of that book. Now, in that book, there's going to be some wonderful personal information about Natalie's journey in music, and her family, and her faith. But there's also going to be a few little recipes in there. And so she has my brown bread recipe in hers, and I have her 1-hour bread recipe in the one that's coming up. And so on that show, we're making Jeff Cox come on the show too. And he, as the owner of the publishing company, and he's a Newfoundlander, so he's hilarious too. So it's going to be a joyous occasion. But he is going to choose something in the book that's a recipe that he might have tried and liked, and so we have to make it for him. So that's going to be a fun thing. That show is probably going to happen somewhere in the 20s of July. We have to work with Natalie's schedule, of course, and she'll be home at some point along there, and we're going to pick an afternoon. So I don't know what kind of a day it is, but I will certainly let you know ahead of time. So that's really exciting. Exciting for me to spend time with Natalie as well, and certainly to make something out of the new book that I think that everyone will enjoy, but especially Jeff. And we're going to do some book signings. We're going to be going into Halifax. We're going to be going into Dartmouth at the Dartmouth Book Exchange there. We're going to be in Antigonish. We're going to be in Sydney, PEI, and we're even going to try to get to Fredericton. And we'll celebrate those. We might have music at those events. We were not completely planned out yet, but hope to see you there. So if you buy a book, bring it and we will sign it, and there'll be books for sale at all of those events, of course, as well. But this book, any of these books would not have happened without you guys. And I appreciate all the followers, the fans, the people that still come up to me and wherever I am, whether I'm in a mall or whatever, they recognize me, and it does my heart so good to feel that love and to hear about how much they enjoyed the Sunday afternoons, and some who still miss it. There's retired folks who really enjoyed having that as part of their Sunday, and coming home from church maybe and going in and turning it on. And I've made such wonderful friends that I will never forget. And it's so amazing what can happen, and the power of social media. It's beyond me, because who would think that there'd be like 65,000 followers on Tunes and Wooden Spoons? It blows me away. I know that most of those are probably not checking in all the time, but maybe they get the posts that I post, and they choose if they're going to watch some or all. So that's really amazing for somebody from the small village of Port Hood to have that presence on social media. It just does my heart great, and to think that this trilogy is out there and will be out there for a long time, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm so happy that that you have all made this happen. And so the thing I wanted to say is, we were informed last week. The book, all the books are available on Amazon.ca, but the new book, Come In, the Kettle's On, is only available for pre-order. And I told you, anybody who's watching, at the last live I did with the pizza shop, which is now open and doing really well. Yesterday was opening day. But what happens if you order on Amazon, order the book, there's a big payback to us, the publishing company, in that the more people who order off Amazon, it comes back to us in spades, because then they want more. And they declared, all the pre-orders that came already for the book, that they declared this new book a bestseller already, and it's not even out yet. And they, in 3 categories of their books, which was, I don't remember all the categories, but they mentioned like best in cakes and pastry, best in stews and soups, and best in something else. But isn't that crazy how it takes on a life of its own? So that certainly would push things ahead, and certainly help us, produce these next few shows that we plan on doing. And so thank you for that. And if you want to do that, I'll put a link on to the book. But I know everybody seems to be Amazon users, so you just have to Google, or not Google, but in the search bar of Amazon, just put, either my name, Mary Janet MacDonald, or Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and you'll see the 3 books there, but the new book, of course, will be there, and the title is Come In, the Kettle's On, and probably can read the little update that's on there about it all, but all of that really helps get the news out, and as soon as Amazon have the books, and they'll be the ones that'll get them first, their supply will be filled, and they'll send that out. And you know how prompt they are. God, you can have things in a couple of days. And if there's any of those grandmas or 2 grandpas out there, and I know that they want the book as soon as possible, but I want all of you to know that you are going to be receiving a book, a signed book from me. So if you want to order others for somebody else online, go for it ahead. But if any of you are watching, you'll each get a book from me that is signed, as you well deserve that and more. Anyway, I think that's about all my little reminders that I wanted to say, but I'm just so thankful that all of this is happening, and it's such an exciting time. And if you all have any suggestions on where we should be going for these book signings, or if you are a business and want to carry our books, you can always find McIntyre Purcell online and send them a message, and they'll get it to our distributors, which is through Nimbus Publishing, and they will get that through to us. And hi, Debbie Simpson. I just saw that. I can barely see. Hi, Michelle Burgess. I'm just seeing some names here. The sun is so bright and it's so hot, and it's just beautiful to have the sunshine again. But other than that, I also wanted to say to anybody, there's also Indigo. You can go online to Indigo. If you're an Indigo person, you have an app for them, or you can go online with them. They also are going to be carrying, and I think you can get some pre-orders with them. It might be, I'm not sure. I'm just not going to say anymore. But the other thing is, the exciting part for McIntyre Purcell Publishing is that we're going to be in Costco. And we're going to be in the Circle K's and the big stops. Certainly, I don't know how many Costco's we're in. We're going to be in the one in Halifax, Dartmouth, and the one in maybe it's Moncton or Fredericton, in that maritime, connection. So they're going to be there. And as well, Natalie's book will be there as well. And I don't know if it's available online just yet, but I'm just so darn excited about this venture, and especially where it's a trilogy and this is the last one, and it'll complete your set for those who have already the first 2 books. So thank you for watching today. Please still check in on my Facebook page, that I will keep updated and let you know when our next live shows. I have another interview that is going to be happening prior to the Natalie interview, or the Natalie Baking Show, and talking about our books together, because that's exciting for me. But there's another show that's going to be happening in there, perhaps the week before Natalie comes home. I don't want to spill the beans just yet, but it is a wonderful couple who are significant in the culture end of things for Unamaki, Cape Breton Island, and I think it's important that we sit down, and I hope that you will take a listen to these wonderful people that I intend to sit down with and enjoy a cup of tea, and I'll bring a goodie or 2, and we'll enjoy their company and their amazing history of what they've done in their lives. So lots to come. It's nice to be back at it again. So it's been a busy few months. It's anybody who's out there who is going to be thinking about writing a book, or have an idea for a book that there's a great audience for, or if you're a Facebook person who has a huge following, those are you've got a market already there. You should consider McIntyre Purcell, no matter where you are, because they are so great to work with, and it takes many people, many hands to put something together and to catch little things as you're going through the manuscript. And they have a great team. They have a couple of cookbook editors. They have the cookbook designer. She's done a wonderful job. Shout out to Gwen. She's up there in the Halifax area. Thank you for the beautiful job that you did. And to Vernon Oikel, thank you so much for being there for us. He's with McIntyre Purcell as well. So there's a great team there, and they will help you every step of the way. So I guess I will leave you now. I'm going to get out of the sun. Guess what we're having inside just now? You know how much I love lobsters? Not? Well, Gordy fished lobsters this year. They finished yesterday, and he's boiling them outside right now. And Brennan is here with us for the week, working from home. He works in Halifax, but he's involved in Kitchen Fest, which is a Cape Breton festival that happens at this time of year. And he was in the Big Bash on Monday, and over at the Gaelic College on Monday night was the concert. So he's been working from home with us this week. And he's also in the Kitchen Fest concert on this Friday night at the Admiral Lounge and Beverage Room here in Port Hood. So we're all going out to that. And so he doesn't get to have a chance of some fresh lobsters. And so they're having that. And I'll be outside on the other deck where it's some shade. And the smell can be outside. But I'm sure there's lots of you out there who would die to have some lobster right now. They're going to have lobster, some salad, and some melted butter, and all the forks and knives and crackers and knives, the big chopping knives. The last time they did it, they broke my good big knife from Pampered Chef. Well, I could have killed them. But by chopping down on the claw, which they didn't have to do. But anyway, c'est la vie. That's the way it goes. All right, everyone. So nice for you to stay with me to this point. Thank you. And I hope you're having wonderful weather where you are and you're keeping hydrated. And I'm going to say a little personal thing just for me and to encourage me. As you all know, my weight it's been an issue for me since a few years now, and I'm working hard on that right now. And I've been doing a lot of walking. Let me see, I've walked over 7,000 steps already today, and I'm trying to monitor what I intake without being on a drastic diet. I'm trying to live within, fruits and vegetables and less portions, and just stuff for my own health. And any encouragement you can give me. But I have a great family, and everybody's on board with that and are helping me just great. And I went for lovely walks these past few mornings with Brennan, that he's home, and went for an afternoon one with Margie today as well. We did 1.5 kilometers on this little walk that's in Port Hood. And for anybody who has the first cookbook, you'll remember that we did a tribute to young Lizzie McCachran. Well, the students at Bayview Education Center here in Port Hood, the school, her classmates a couple of years ago, they, after her untimely death at the age of, I think she was 11, in a car accident, they did this 1.2 kilometer walk through a wooded area beside the school. It's just a perfect little walk, and so we did that this afternoon, and it's just a rustic gravel path all the way zigzagging through, and the school board helped as well. There's a couple of little bridges that were built. It's so lovely. And anytime you're in Port Hood and you want to go for a nice little nature walk, it would be a wonderful place to stop by and remember this lovely girl. There's a great big placard there with her information on it and her life. And she loved birds and butterflies and all things nature. And there's some, on some of the trees, there's little posts that are a QR code that will take you to a little memory of her, and she deserves to be remembered. And her parents are very good friends of ours and of our children, and a life taken way too soon. So if you're ever over here in Port Hood and you have whatever, half an hour just to meander through the wooded area, just a rustic little walk, and it's beautiful, and in one way remembering this beautiful little girl. And anyway, there you go. That's it for today, and thank you so much for staying with me for this long. And you can watch this live again. My video will stay up on Facebook now for 30 days, and then it will be deleted. And that's the new way of Meta handling live videos, and maybe all videos. I'm not really clear on that. But this week it was just an awful lot of work to download to an external drive all the videos from the start of Tunes and Wooden Spoons, so all the way back to 2020. And I didn't get all of them, but most of them, I think. I have to go back and review, and I don't know if they've deleted them yet. I haven't gone back in to check, but the deadline was July the 1st, so there was a lot of work involved. And so 82 of the episodes are up on my YouTube channel, if you wanted to follow or subscribe or whatever you do on that. I think if you get a few subscribers, I think that there's some advertising that can happen, and maybe it'll be a little revenue at some point, but I'm not sure on that. I really don't know about that. But for your interest, and if you wanted to follow along, so every recipe I named with just the recipe, but I didn't name the guest. But when I upload it to YouTube, I will put the name in there of who was entertaining on that day, in case you wanted to see that. So I'm open to so many suggestions, people. Like, send me a message. And I'm slow sometimes getting back to the messages, but seriously, I would love to hear from you, and or comment in this post, and of things that you would like to see, and let's continue on this platform and enjoy every minute. So, okay, I hope people will watch on the replay and get caught up in all that's going to be happening with me. And thank you for your friendship and for your investment of time in this little journey of mine, and which I never thought would ever come to this. And I'm just so thankful. So I want you to know that I love you. I love you for what you've done for me. And you know I want you to love one another, because we all have to be kind. The internet now, and you know, there's just the whole things between the US and Canada, and it bothers you that it's come to this, and there's a reason for everything, and we have to take the good out of all of that. And I, for one, if I see somebody that's visiting here from the US, my whole heart and soul is going to welcome them with open arms. We're not going to talk politics, but we're going to make them feel welcome, because I know personally that there have been some who were worried about coming into Canada, what our people would how they'd make them feel. We don't want to be those kind of people. We are a welcoming country, and there's always, you know, some people that will use that rod, and it's not nice. But be nice to your neighbor. Be nice to those that find the strength and the ability to come here and find out, are you from the U.S.? Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and visiting our country, and don't talk politics. Just welcome them and make them feel like, I really like this place. And so, okay, I've said enough. Okay, bye everybody. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day in the sunshine. Okay, bye-bye.